It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight on Trains and Tech, we are going to void the warranty on a very expensive model railroad item that I own. But before we get to that, which I know everyone is looking forward to, I thought I would just do a couple little I don't know, news items, announcement items. The first one I mentioned I wanted to say last night. It was actually 2 nights ago already now on Sunday. Drew from Bright River Line is going to be covering for the Sidetrack Sunday crew, because if you don't know, several of us are going to be over at Timonium. Timonium, Maryland, there is a big train show happening, and I posted the schedule up on my community page of kind of some things that we are going to be doing. Saturday, October 15th, around 11 a.m.-ish, we'll show up at the Timonium Train Show. 1 p.m. is the official meet and greet at the Mini Prince booth. Bernard has stated that dancing will be encouraged. He is going to be providing the music. He has not said what kind of music that is going to be, so you'll just have to wait and show up and see. I am hoping to do a live stream provided everything goes as planned, probably somewhere around 1:30-ish, and then going from there. Bernard says the official meet and greet host chooses the tunes. I think that would be Ray, right? I think we all agree that Ray is hosting this soiree, however that word is pronounced. And then October 16th, it opens at 10 a.m., but we're committing to being there by 11. We're going to go over to the B&O Museum and check that out as well. And then I head back home. I am taking Amtrak down and back, so it's another event for me where I get to take a train to and a train from a train show, which I always think is fun. Andrew Mr. Bigtova kicking it off tonight with a super chat for $5 to the Humanity Fund. Much appreciated. I may actually have to start a Humanity Fund if you keep posting that that way. But I got a couple things on my bench today. Let's just take a quick look and get right at it. The first thing you'll notice in the center of the bench that I have is this is my start for my contest entry. I shared this on Sunday, and as you can see between Sunday and today, this is how much I've gotten done, which not too much. But this is for the Halloween mini prints mini build contest. As he says, everyone who enters has a chance to win a $100 mini prints gift card. I think you probably have to be talented to actually win, so that leaves people like me out. Must fit in a 3.5-inch peanut butter jar. I measured mine. It only measures 2 7/8 of an inch. I am not sure where people find these 3.5-inch peanut butter lids. I don't know where they're getting their peanut butter, but it is definitely bigger than the peanut butter that I am able to obtain around here. Bernard is saying that is the perfect lid. Ideally, he wants you to use one of the mini prints because, you know, it's his contest, so he can say that. Any scale, which, you know, looking at this, G scale I think might be out. Maybe I think you might have a little bit of better chance with N scale, but oh wait, Bernard says it has to be a peanut butter lid. This is technically not a peanut butter lid. It's not even a nut butter. I guess it's a seed butter. So I wonder if that would disqualify me or not. No Costco peanut butter lids from the 5-gallon pails. I wonder what size those are. Bernard says close enough. I did talk to Bernard offline, and he did say it's just about having fun. So even if you're close, just enter. Heath behind. He's so far ahead we can't perceive it. I wish I was ahead of the game. G-scale out, never. Hey, I want to see you do something G-scale on this. I would be, what? You got the first entry already? I just finished eating the peanut butter. How'd you do that? Okay, so where do you enter them? Submit photos by October 31st to Bernard at miniprints.com. You could probably mail the jar of peanut butter to him as your entry if you want, but you can email it as well. Nathan says correct, Heath. If it was a peanut butter lid, it would have the grooves of the same way you screw in the peanut butter to keep it close. This does have grooves. It's just it's a seed butter top, then it's not a peanut butter top. Dennis wants to know, do they need to be Halloween themed? Bernard, that is a good question there for you. Dwight Curley paying his penance for being late. He says, I'm late. Dwight, you're not late. You are just on time. Welcome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Bernard says no, but it's preferred. I think, it's kind of fun. An O-scale outhouse might fit in that. It could. Bernard does say that no talent is needed. Everyone has an equal chance to win. I noticed that what he has not pointed out is what the judging criteria are. So we don't really know what is going to elevate your peanut butter cap to a higher level. Oh, I didn't realize this. So it's a random draw. So I could just enter this with my, if I just take my thing of mini prints and stick them in there and send a picture, does that count as a mini Prince mini build because it's my mini Prince inside a peanut butter cup? Corey says, "You had me at no talent. I'm a shoo-in." Oh, that's really cool that it's not skill-based. That's awesome. Yeah, everyone's saying they don't have skills. Apparently, I'm an instant disqualification, which I think is true. Think outside the cap, not in it. And I will say that there are a couple of us talking over on the Discord that are definitely thinking outside of the cap, as they say. Ray says he has a skill saw, and I think in our hobby, sometimes just cutting it up and starting over is probably a good thing. So it looks like Lynn did place an order for Mini Prince, but he forgot what he ordered. I bet you got an email that might tell you. Dwight's eating his peanut butter right now with apples on it. Dwight, just take some pictures of those apples before they start rotting, and you will have your own little Mini Prince little event. I do have on my desk as well, you see, or my desk, my workbench, whatever you want to call it. I do have some other stuff on there that I am planning to talk about. This over here, this is our big project. So we're gonna get to that big project in a couple of minutes. Yeah, a hammer and a crowbar. I've used a hammer. Used a hammer on a couple things. All right. So we're talking about Halloween candy now. SCL 1970 brought it up. I want to know who eats candy corn. I think that is the ultimate in Halloween candy. I think it's probably a candy that a lot of us grew up with, but I'm curious if anybody actually enjoys it or. Jim thinks we all have one skill or another. Jim used to eat candy corn. Lynn loves them. Andrew, Mr. McTovid, loves them. Steven from Wigwag Workshop loves them. Ray, on the other hand, likes Twix. Roy stopped eating that stuff, and I'm kind of in Roy's bag right there. SCL 1970 bought a bag of them last weekend. Love Peeps. There you go. Very interesting. John from Mystic Southern Railway. Mystic Railroad. Did you used to be Mystic Southern Railroad and now you're Mystic Railroad? Or have you always been Mystic Railroad? I missed something, didn't I? I'm behind. Anyway, John says he likes candy corn. Second place isn't even close. Who eats fruitcake? Martin, we are not even going to ask that question. We are not even going there. Peeps are the little, marshmallow ducks, right? It's corn. Corn syrup. I saw somebody making candy corn pizza. How do you heat that up without it melting? Oh, there's a good question. Twix, you get asked this about Kit Kats as well. Is the left one or the right one better? Okay, so I'm not crazy. So it was Mystic Southern Railroad, but then you moved up north, so now you're Mystic North Railroad, but you dropped the north and you're just Mystic Railroad. See, is there a Mystic Northern Railroad? We're going the same way. Yeah, I haven't eaten them in a long time. Cotton candy's pretty good too. I recently had candy corn hot chocolate, Lauren Hurwitz says. Joe, I know he moved, but there are people in the UK that are modeling Wisconsin railroads, and there are people in Australia modeling US railroads. So you can mix it up. No, Roy. No. No. You're not allowed to do that. Nathan says, Heath, at least you're supporting other people with your Facebook group and giving everyone a chance to show off what they can do. I have my Nathan DeLay YouTube group for the same reason. Yeah, I do. I spend most of my time probably on Discord, but I do have a Facebook page that I try and get to and post up some stuff, which just reminded me I should probably post up the Timonium schedule on the Facebook page just so that we can share it out there. and just get more people to join us down at Timonium. I need to remember to do that when I get a chance. But this item right here, actually, I found out about first on Facebook and then saw it on YouTube. I haven't opened it yet. As you can see, it's still sealed. It does have a big F on it, so I knew that it was for me because it is showing my the grade I'm gonna get for not really, but this I bought primarily to support the YouTube channel that is doing it, and I haven't figured it out, so I can't do it tonight, but I think we're gonna do a giveaway, and I'll eventually give this away. So I'm gonna open it, but hopefully try and remember to save the packaging so that I could give it away to somebody. Speaking about giveaways, I can pull this out. I've got a little bin, if you don't know. Everyone's got little bins, but in these little bins, I've got some envelopes and some stamps and some stickers. I did just send out a bunch of stickers. When did I send out the stickers? Yesterday? Today? One or the other. So if you sent me your address for some of the Riverside transfer stickers, you should be getting them soon. If you want some, I do have one US stamp left and 2 stamps to send stuff to Canada, but I'll buy more stamps if people are interested. Just hit me up on direct message in some fashion, some way, somehow out there, and I'll send some out somehow. Trackside Mike's kicking off with a little bit of a Canadian super chat for some sticker support. Thank you so much, Trackside Mike. I really do appreciate that. So what have we talked about and what we haven't talked about? We talked about Timonium, talked about STS with the Drew from White River Line, who is doing that. I'll trade you a mini print sticker on Saturday. I will try and I made a little bit of a mistake. When I ordered those Riverside transfer stickers, I only ordered 10 of them, 10 of each kind, because I was kind of like people aren't going to really be interested in them. I have more of the Humanity Junction ones, but yes, I'm going to be bringing stickers with me to Timonium, and when they run out, they run out, and that's going to be that. So let's open this up. I don't know. I'm guessing somebody in the chat probably got one of these themselves, and probably already knows what this is. So I guess we probably don't need to open it then, and we can just move on to the main item of the evening. Thank you, Trackside Mike 4320. I bet you everyone is over there watching Athearn, because I'm sure Athearn has some big exciting things going up. And when I say everybody, I don't mean the 43 people that are here. Although who knows? Container Man says open it. I know. I was being a little bit of a troublemaker. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Did I show everybody my K-Line cars? I really like these cars. So this will be a giveaway as soon as I can figure out how to set up to do the giveaway, or how I want to do the giveaway. I don't like making things complicated for myself, so I'm going to find some simple way. But Jason Jensen from Jason Jensen Trains, I think a lot of people do know his channel. This is his first kit. It's something he wanted to get into for a little bit. We think this is like the first thing he's really monetized on his channel, but this is a laser cut kit. It is an HO scale. I asked him if he was going to be doing an N scale version, and he said maybe, but not now. There are some little plastic details as well that are in here, but it's a you know, it's a little railroad crossing shack. It's a great little, you know, place for him to start, and I think it's got, at least from the pictures, you can see it's a very Jensen esque design and look and stuff like that. So I wanted to support him. I don't need more HO things though. So I will give it away. I'm not gonna. I just saw somebody say give it away tonight. I'm not gonna give it away right now. I was spending my time doing something else and whatever. Andy, I think you need more stuff less than I need more stuff. Yeah, Atherton doesn't. Anyway, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm 20 minutes late. Did he open it yet? I opened it. I have mine sitting right in front of me. Looks cool. 2 railroad crossing shacks. Yeah, I think this was a really smart first thing. It made it very affordable. There are some kits out there that are very, very expensive, very like gorgeous kits, but I think this gives people a chance to buy his, you know, products and get into what he's doing without a huge cost. So we're going to save this for another night, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it as well. I don't. It's funny you say that. I did find a G-scale locomotive that I was thinking about buying, and then I said no. I'm going down to Timonium. I waited because of some personal circumstances to buy my train ticket, and from between when I thought about buying the train ticket and when I actually ended up buying the train ticket, the cost of it really went up. So I'm trying not to buy. I'd always count on you guys to help me spend my money. No train inspector. No, she can be a handful. She can be a handful, demanding attention, and sometimes it's hard to do a live stream with her in the room. So let's get to this. I don't know how long this is going to take me, but I thought we should do this live just so when I screw it up, people can see me screwing up a very expensive model railroad item. I'm going to try really hard not to. I'm going to try really, really hard not to screw this up. But it involves soldering. That's the soldering iron is over here off to the side. And anytime I solder anything, especially near other electronics components, I always get a little bit nervous. This did come from William Sampson over at SOO the Milwaukee Road. If you know his channel, you know he puts out some really great videos, and this is a project or a modification that he keeps improving on, and this is kind of the middle version of the modification. He has taken it to a completely new level that like involves just like resoldering all kinds of stuff. The soldering I'm going to do tonight, very, very minimal. The soldering that he does on his to fix it, it's pretty darn crazy. So Adam knows this is related to the Proto throttle. So I've got the Proto throttle here. It is going to involve touching a soldering iron to the boards on the Proto throttle. So what could go wrong, right? So let's open this up and see what we got. John from Schuylkill River Valley is not here. I was planning on counting out each of the styrofoam peanuts, but since John from Schuylkill Valley is not here, I think we will we'll skip that part and we'll just get right get right to it. If you're interested in the modification to your Proto throttle, and I'll explain in a second a little bit more what we're going to do, you can reach out to William through his website, and you could purchase the modifications. He does also show on his site how to do the modifications. I just don't have some of the tools here that I would need to do it and have it come out okay. But you can reach out to him if it's something that you think you want to do yourself as well. So somebody in chat remind me, I do want to test to make sure it works before I take it apart or before I start messing with it. So I do want to do that. But let's take a look at what this modification is going to entail so that you can see what we are going to be tackling tonight. First thing we're going to be tackling tonight is this bubble wrap. We are going to have to pop every single one of the bubbles on this. Not really. So what this modification is, more bubble wrap. I'm just trying to be careful. There is a couple small pieces in here that I do not want to misplace. Great, look at that. Even put them in a little thing here. So what the modification is if you notice, I would say these are N scale bubbles. They're kind of middle range. So I do not need 33 cubic feet of peanut. Oh, for Sparky. I am sure he would appreciate that. Adam, what's going on? You usually have some pretty decent internet over there. Mini Prince, are you setting up on Friday? That's a good question. Who is going to be down at Timonium on Friday night? I have not talked to Ray about this, and I think Ray is going to be bowling on Friday night, so I don't know if this is going to be possible. But I'm wondering if a bunch of people are there on at Timonium Friday night in preparation for Saturday. I was wondering if maybe we should do like a small dinner on Friday night, like out somewhere. So Mini Prince is hitting Horseshoe Curve first thing Friday morning. I wish. I am just heading down myself on Friday afternoon, so unfortunately I won't be there. But I just bought a scanner. I have no idea how it works. I'm gonna try and program it before I head down there, so that hopefully I can try and catch something along the way. Bowling is Ray is like a really good bowler. I am, on the other hand, a terrible bowler. But now that Shane Trains is here, we can all say hello to him again. Shane checked in with me a couple of days ago. Shane does car stuff over the summers, so he's been taking a little break from his model railroad stuff, but he is back now. No black tie dinner, no. Okay, so Dennis, here's the explanation for the mod. Oh, okay, Ray. All right. I don't want to make things complicated. I was just I don't know. We'll figure something out. I don't know what's happening yet. Bernard, I'll call you. If anybody else is going to be down there Friday night, like text me or something, and we'll see. Maybe we'll all go watch Ray bowl or something like that. So here's the modification. The Proto throttle is I was going to try and grab a ruler real quick. The Proto throttle is a deep unit, almost 2 inches deep. So when you hold it in your hand, you can't even really get your. I mean, you know, it's a big honking thing. So what William from SOO Line figured out is that you can take the battery pack off of this. And when you take the battery pack off of it, then you can cut down the box. So what William from SOO Line does is he cuts down the box So you can see now how much thinner it is. And this makes it much easier to hold. So he cuts down the box, he resets the inserts in the corners. He adds these little wires in here that need to be soldered, and this is the whole soldering part, because you're removing the battery pack off the bottom of this, and you're going to add the batteries to the outside. So the other advantage of that is the only way to change the batteries on this guy are to take the whole thing apart. So when you reduce the size, it also moves the battery pack to the outside. So not only now do you have something that is easier to hold in your hand, but you can also change the batteries pretty easily. So that's the goal for today, is to desolder. I think that's the right word. Desolder the batteries off of this guy. Solder this onto, where the batteries was soldered into. Solder the battery pack to the other end of this, and reassemble it all. So that's the plan. What holds the battery in place? In the current iteration, what holds the battery in place is, we'll open it up, but it's the battery socket is just soldered to it. And what's going to hold it in place here is there's two little brass screws here that'll hold it to the case. So the reason this is flashing is I hit a button to turn it on, because I did want to see that it worked. I wanted to make sure that it worked before I started pulling it apart. So, John, I did open a box first, and you completely missed it. So, let's see. Who's Peven, Stephen with a PH, is printing Christmas Story already. We're just dealing with Halloween, and he's already doing. Just add one of those phone knobs. Where do you want me to add the phone knobs? Down here? There are all kinds of modifications people are doing to these things these days. And if you go over to William's channel, you can see a lot of his, you can see a lot of the modifications he's made, and it's really pretty, it's pretty cool what he's doing. So I know this works. We can see that it's on. It's gonna be a long night, isn't it? Especially if I can't get it working after I solder it back together. I'm getting better at soldering, but soldering still makes me nervous. So we'll see. But it's working. So next thing I want to do is let's take this guy apart, and let's trying to find. Let's see. It looks like it's a number 1 Phillips. Let's see. Is that right? Yep. Looks to be a number 1 Phillips. So we'll take that out. I know Mark Stafford has been working on a Steam version. I do know, like, a lot of this is open source, so you could hypothetically take this apart and modify it and make your own. If you really want a Steam one and you want to help, go, reach out to Mark Stafford. He does pop into chats every once in a while. He's on the AML chat a lot, but yeah, I remember doing a terrible job doing it. So yeah. All right, so we got to vote for a brick and a doorstop. Not heavy enough for a doorstop. Depends on the doors. I do agree. New York City doors are probably a little bit too heavy, but Yeah, the what I upgraded on this was I like the color red, so I've upgraded the bell to red, and the brake is now red. I just thought that made sense to me. The brake is red, and I got this sort of gold, this gold color one for my throttle. I have not modified these though. I do kind of like the different switches that they have, but you know, it is what it is. But let's get this thing apart, and we can take a little bit more of a look at what needs to be done. And I am going to, of course, I can't find what I'm trying to find right now. What I wanted was just, oh, I know what I can use. I can use my my peanut butter cup. I wanted somewhere to put the screws so the screws didn't walk away. So, so this guy, when you pull it out, you can see part of what makes it so deep is this battery pack on the back of it. So what this modification is going to do is we're going to pull this battery pack off. We are going to move the battery pack to the outside. It's going to then screw on to here, which then will make the whole profile of this shorter, which will then enable us to use this slimmer box. So that's the modification we're going to do, and we're going to hopefully see how it works. So Nathan Delay says, how does the controller work without even modifying it? What it basically does is it is a Zigbee device, so sort of a wireless device that has the different motive functions and the motive functions and then different functions mapped to different buttons. So like this here is F1. This is just mapped to your different speed steps. This is mapped to forward and reverse. So basically what they did is they made a sort of a fancy interface for anything else. Why not just use slimmer batteries? Watch batteries wouldn't have the oomph. Watch batteries tend to be very, very low low amperage. But SCL1970 says, I've been watching Seaboard Central, his channel, and has one of those throttles. Yeah, I like this throttle, but I just found it too clumsy to sort of hold on to. So so we're going to take this, we're going to open this up here and dive right in. There is one other thing that I need to do to this that I haven't mentioned yet, and it is, and you can maybe just make it out. If you notice, this red jumper right here just sticks out a little bit past the XB wireless transmitter, and in order to get it into this smaller box, I'm actually going to have to cut these pins down. So you cut these pins down and you cut these pins down as well, and you do both of those and it will make it narrow enough. William actually has a new version right now, which he's calling his ultra slim version, where he removes this black header here. He removes this black header here. He cuts down these standoffs, and he's gotten this like another 1/4 of an inch or so thinner. So that is going to be that part of it. But for now we're going to do just this simple modification here. Let's get the soldering iron back up to temperature. So the first thing we're going to do is touch these nubbins. I don't know what the official word is. Touch these wires, heat them up enough just to get this to pull free. Hopefully without heating it up too much that any of the integrated circuits that are surface mounted soldered on the back side will heat up and fall off. So we'll take that off first and go from there. I mean, what can go wrong, right? I guess, you know what I'm thinking I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this off and then I'm gonna pull them out one at a time, because I think that's actually gonna be better for me, because I don't actually these ends we're actually gonna solder onto here, so I don't need them. I don't need those little things. Is there emoji for a puff of smoke? I am sure there is. Nubbins, yeah, I don't know what the it takes big hands to handle a big throttle. It sure does. Dennis, I think a lot can go wrong, but you know, I am willing to risk it. If this stream like ends suddenly, I think we'll all know why. But I thought that was all I needed to do, but it is stuck onto something. Looks like there's a little piece of double-sided tape right on top of that. There's a little piece of double-sided tape just to give that a little bit of spacing. So we'll take that little piece of double-sided tape off, because that was not doing anything that we needed it to do. And now I got this little battery pack. So this little battery pack is going to screw on here with these two holes, and then we will just solder the the plus and the minus onto this. But first we'll do this side, just because I like doing the risky part first. Let me get something to hold on to that. Yeah. Probably was. Bernard wants to know if there's a manual. Yes, there is a manual, not to doing what I'm doing. If I have not mentioned it yet, do this at your own risk. This will void the warranty, so, you know, there is that. There are no lids for the batteries, and I thought about that, and I looked for a while. I had the thought that, like, maybe I should get a different little battery box, but at the end of the day, this was kind of the smallest thing out there, and it holds pretty good. I mean, it's got these little wings, so it holds them in pretty good, so I'm not too worried about that. But I'm going to try and do this side first, then we'll go and do this side. Daniel says, what is CMC? I have no idea. Where did you see CMC? Let's see, what is going to be the best way to do this? I'm going to try and use gravity, maybe. All right. Is there a warranty worth worrying about? The most expensive part? I don't know. I'm sure there's a warranty. You don't have to remove those. Oh, that's a good point. I don't have to remove those. Right? Why risk it? That's a good point. See, Roy's always got some great darn ideas. That's for darn sure. So I'm not going to... So these wires, I'm actually going to solder them down here. There's actually two power places on this. There's this over here you can bring power in, and then you can also bring the power in down here. I'm actually going to solder the power in down here at the bottom, just so when this closes up, the wires are connecting down at the bottom. So I'm not actually going to resolder anything to these. I think what I'm going to do, though, if I'm going to leave them... Yeah, I'm going to leave them long, so if I need to pull them out later. Fixing's always a good thing. Some people are like, oh, why do you do this and fumble around on stream and whatnot and so forth? And I do it because a lot of ideas come up in the chat that I think are very valuable. I've learned huge amounts from, from what people have shared in the chat, and I hope others have as well. So, I think it's a great way to do things. What I'm wondering is to solder these on, if I should take this off. I'm kind of thinking no, but I'm also kind of thinking yes. It looks like they come off pretty easily. I think I'm probably going to pop this back off to solder these on. Just give me a little bit more, thing. Text says, don't cut the blue wire. Luckily, I'm only dealing with red and black. I'm really thinking, do I want to, I guess I should try it first without it, right? Should try taking it. Stop talking. Yeah. Why not solder to the pins? I guess I could. It's not quite long enough to do that. At least using this little guy here, it's not quite long enough to do that. I guess maybe it is. The point of doing it down here is that it gives you a disconnect so that you can, separate this. I could just solder them to there too. I'm going to solder them in here. It's easy enough. It's easy enough to solder them in there. The wires are already tinned, so that's easy. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it's going to go as well. So we'll see about that. I was thinking about this a lot, like about wiring the positive and the negative backwards, and I'm hoping that there is a a built-in circuit of some sort that has some sort of prevention in place, should you end up wiring things backwards. But I do know, I watched the video from William a couple times, and I did find out positive. I don't have something smaller point. Positive is inside the white rectangle. Negative is outside the white rectangle. So I need to get the red on the inside and the black up on the other side. And I'm going to grab some tweezers. Prevention circuit. That's why the pins would be better. Which is positive and negative side. I don't know which is the positive and negative on this. I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure which is the positive and negative. I didn't write down. He talks about it in the video, but I guess I could figure it out by putting this back on. But anyway, I'm doing it the way he recommended doing it, and we're gonna start there, and this is where. All right, so I just put the red wire in. Positive is inside, so I need to move this inside here. There we go. Uh-oh. All right, so I've got the red wire in place. It is just sticking out. Don't know if people can see it, but it's just sticking out right there. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of flux, and this is where things start getting nerve-wracking. I know, right? I know. I'm getting nervous. No, I know it's positive and negative where I'm soldering. Spring side's negative. Yeah, I realized that after I said it. I realized that. Coil the wires around a pen to make them look like a spring. Yeah, There's wisdom in going with the yeah, I am doing this. He's got a lot of videos out on doing it this specific way. I am going to do it the way he did it, and because I know his way kind of worked. Okay. Come on. Get up, get up. There we go. All right, so we got a little bit of flux on there. And we're going to see if I can do this without doing anything. I know, right? Never solder in front of people. This was just a dumb idea. Whoever thought this was a good idea, I really need to rethink my my topics. Oh, do I keep leaning in front? I may end up leaning in front again when I go to solder this, but you know, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that as it comes. Oh, is anyone leaning around to look? He said, I'm blind, so I like have to get close. So I should. All right, so here's a question. So Dennis is saying should just be able to touch it and you're done. Here's my question. And this is when I tin wires, a lot of times what I do, I don't know if it's right or wrong, is I put the solder on the tip of the soldering iron, then touch it to the flux and it just sort of like poofs up. Or should I get it a little bit hot, let the flux flow, and then touch it? See, Joey's been around my channel long enough to know what's going on. Joey's no dummy. Man, my hands are shaking. Who thought this was a good idea? That's what I really want to know, is who thought this was a good idea? So I think if you took a microscope to it, it might not look perfect, but it's done. And it's holding. I can pull on it and it doesn't come out. So let's do the other one and be done with that. I definitely can't. You know, technically I probably can't afford one of them, but you know, we're gonna make things happen here. Gotta get the wire in the right spot. My hands are like shaking from trying to do that live. It's much easier doing this stuff when you're not on camera. I don't know whoever thinks it's a good idea to do this on camera are completely insane. All right, so let's see. So there's the end of it. So we gotta go past that and go up through the hole. I'm using my mechanical aptitude and spatial awareness to try and find the hole to put the wire in. And it is, it worked better the first time. Now it's not working quite as well. I think I'm probably a little more nervous than I was the last time. And this is where I'm going to start pulling things apart just to make my life easier. All right, so there's the wire. So I need to go to there and then to there. Ha ha! There we go. All right, so the wire is through. I know you guys can't see it. I know. I thought about that too. All right, so the positive is inside, the negative is the top, and that is how I am wiring this. So we're just gonna put a tiny bit of flux on here, and I'm trying to not get too much flux because I don't really just want flux all over the place on this thing. So I know that's too much, but I'm just trying to just trying to make it work. Come on. Come on. Come on. That is not pretty. Am I putting my head in the way again? I'm trying to put like half of what I've got on the... am I the only one holding my breath? Aye. I'm done. Let me try and... yeah, I know. Too much flux. Yeah. I'm lucky that these pins are pretty far away from anything else, and I can clearly see around all of the flux onto other things. So I'm pretty confident that I'm clear of everything, and I've lost the little piece of solder. Nah. Daniel's not holding mine. I don't have any skin in the game. I get it. Yeah, so yeah, they're about $500, especially once you add in the receiver on it. Your flux was too cold, warm it up a bit. I've heard some people say that they do that. They like stick it in the microwave or something. Or I forget where I ended up hearing that. Rick, I will remember this comment when I see you at Timonium, but I do appreciate it. I think the chances of me actually breaking something are fairly low. And, you know, I say that because I'm saying that. Yeah, it's a little chilly in here. Well, just wiping up some of that flux, but it did not flow anywhere it was not supposed to flow, so that's a good sign. Head cam. Yeah, sorry. There you go, Tim Brim. I'm sure Tim's head's probably not as scary looking as mine. So there we go. That is the first of the soldering events for tonight. So let's tighten this up a little bit. So the other thing we have to do with this before we get away from it is I'm going to cut these pins down. I did get another jumper that's already been trimmed down so that I don't have to trim down the jumper myself. I'm just going to take some of a few gray hairs. I wish I had gray hairs. I just have no hairs. Stab marks and stuff. I've had a couple different stitches in the top of my head in my time, so I went to college in New York. I didn't go to New York my whole life, but thought that was static grass. No, not really. I do not have a Harry Potter train set. James is dropping in. Let's see, I'm just catching up. No dandruff. Yeah. So this part actually makes me more nervous. I need to cut these pins to the height of this guy, and I don't know why this makes me more nervous than the other thing. So I got to remember, I got to put the jumper back on these two outer pins, and we're just going to we're just going to cut these, and they're going to fly across the room. So I'm going to put my hand there, and they cut so much easier than I expected them to. Oh, and I cut them on a little bit of a wrong angle. There we go. So now we've got metal parts floating around inside my electronics. Not really, they're all right here. Okay, so that was those cut down, and let's open up this little baggie that I got. Oh, I just realized I need to scroll down. I don't know why it's not auto-scrolling. Or it is sometimes, but not others. So, new jumper. This jumper is going to go on to here. There you go. Nice shortened jumper. Now, the other one I need to cut down is this this side as well. And we're just cutting them down so they don't hit the case. And again, let's hope these cut down as easy as the other ones do. I believe this one is for programming updates, if I'm not mistaken. So even, you know, cutting them shorter doesn't really hurt anything. It just makes a little bit of extra room. Yeah. So this is the Iowa Scaled Engineering Proto throttle. We're just doing a little bit of a modification to it so that it we are reducing the size of the case from this is the original size of the case, and we're going to go down to this size of a case just to make it a little more handy portable. And this will now fit in here nicely, nice and trimmed down, so it now has a really nice fit. So the next step is going to be soldering this on here. And what I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do, oh no, it does look like they want to come up through these holes. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to solder it on this spring side. That's what I'm kind of wondering about. But I do think the way to do this is I'm going to trim these a little shorter on the back. I'm going to screw this on, and then I'll solder it when it's in place. Yeah, how to neuter your Proto throttle. Hopefully it is not experiencing as much pain as I am. Yes, I did solder both wires. Both wires are, I don't know that I'll be able to get much closer. Let's see where it'll focus. There we go. So, yep, both wires are soldered. They are not, they're not going anywhere. So, yep, both. And now we just need to do this other side. Did I cut that? I thought I cut that. Looks like I cut that. I wish, not sure how I'm going to do this on this spring side. We'll figure that out. I just cut that and just went ping, flew around the room. I'm not going to use any glue. There are 2 screws right here. We're just going to take these 2 screws out, and we'll feed the wires through, and then just solder it up. I hope Louis Rossman is an amazing repair technician. There's no way I can really compare myself to him, but I appreciate the thought. All right, so there's the one, there's the other, and I tell you, William did a great job. I mean, these are threaded, threaded holes in this that line up with the wires coming through, so you don't see the wires on the outside or anything. He did a really good job with these modifications. This is not a this is not really just a backyard, you know, modification. This is some good quality work. Much better than if I was thinking about trying to do my own, but I would have had to basically cut the box down by hand. And I just knew that if I had to cut this box down by hand, it was not going to go well. And yeah, Dennis, I thought about that as well. I'm personally not worried at all about the batteries falling out. I don't think there's any chance of that happening. So I think I'm going to wire the red. I think I'm going to solder the red wire first. And the reason I think I'm going to do that is because it is going to be significantly easier. And I just realized I made a mistake. I tighten these down, which sort of is now holding the wires in place. So I just need to loosen it up a little bit to pull the wires back through. What issue is everyone having? Right now they don't have repair parts. My dealer's looking for a used throttle. Yeah, I mean, electronic components are tough right now. They are definitely tough. All right. So this is probably going to be a little bit hard for people to see, but I've got the red wire is lined up with the other wire where it comes in, and I'm just going to try and get a little bit of solder on it, but not too much solder on it because I don't want it to you know, affect the contact of the battery. But I think I got plenty of room in there, and I am sure I'm going to stick my head in the way. James, what I'm doing is I'm modifying a Proto throttle to go from this size back box to this size back box. Oh, Steven's having a Digitrax throttle issue. I'm curious, which throttle is it that you're having the issues with? All right. So I apologize. People aren't going to be able to see for a little bit, I don't think. I'm going to kind of need to just sort of do this where I can see things and go from there. Oh, let's heat the soldering iron back up. It's got an auto reduction in heat, so every once in a while it reduces from 700 to 350 kind of on its own. So Otter Creek says he would drop it. This does have a tether hole, so you're supposed to clip your tether onto this and hang it around your neck so that you can't throw it. One of the things I am thinking about doing, though, is this is technically designed to be the stand, and I think a GP9 or GP40, I forget which one, not completely sure, but what I might end up doing is mounting it to a stand. I've got tripod stand, so I may mount it to a tripod stand and do it that way. Dennis, what about 700? Did you get to 700 subs? The DT402, yeah, I could definitely see them having limited parts for that, just being an older throttle. Probably have gone through a lot of their repair parts already. So let's see if I can do this without doing any damage. Let that cool for a second. I think I added way too much solder. And I don't think nope, I got it. What I'm not sure about, though, is whether the battery's going to fit now. Let me, let's wait. This is the Proto throttle by Iowa Scaled Engineering. We're just doing a little bit of a modification to the plastic back box on it. I'm at 998 subs. Well, that's, if anybody, Grandpa Rails or somebody can post Otter Creek and Rio Grande's channel, let's see if we can get him over 1,000 subs, get him those extra two subs while we're hanging out together. So let's see if nope, fits in nice and snug. Nice and snug. That couldn't be more perfect. So I'm looking at the compression of the spring on this side, and what I'm thinking is I could probably solder this up to the top of this spring and save myself a significant amount of headaches as well. So, yeah. Everyone, oh yeah, 700, yeah, 700 degrees Fahrenheit, I think, is what I'm soldering at. Lynn, no spamming the chat. Come on, let's go. Jigoku Samurai says he was your 1,000 subscriber. Let's see if we can make that stick by getting him a little past 1K. But Dwight also needs 1 to get to 300. So if somebody here has not seen Dwight, Dwight has been doing some interesting videos lately in that he has been learning about wiring switches. And he's been very open about posting some of the issues that he's had and the solutions he's coming up with. So check that out. That would be interesting for a lot of people that are trying to learn, because I think learning's a good thing, right? So now I'm dealing with a black wire on a black plastic box, and I can't see where the wire is at all. Oh, there's the wire. I got it now. So we're going to try and get this in a place to solder it. And what I'm trying to do is basically shove it under the spring. So the spring is going to hold it in place while I then attempt to put a little bit of that solder stuff on it and hopefully just solder it to the spring. And if that works, we're just going to go with it. But having a little problem getting it into the right spot. Yeah, Bernard, I don't know why you don't have more subs. That's another good question right there. If people don't know who Bernard from Mini Prints is, he makes resin printed minis, mini pieces and parts. If you ever need any sort of stuff for your railroad, any little mini stuff, he's definitely something to check out. So while I'm playing with this wire, I am actually going to run my thank you video. I've got a little 50-second video that I made up just to thank the supporters of the channel. One of my corporate sponsors, sort of a weird thing to say, but corporate sponsors is Bernard over at Mini Prints, but there's also Iron Planet Hobbies and PTF Background Flats. And then there are people that have supported me individually through YouTube and Patreon and various stuff. So I'm going to run that while I'm playing with this, and I will be back in a second.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
So I might have actually gotten this soldered while we were doing that. I am going to attempt to take a little bit of a closer look though, because I can't quite see in there, and I just want to make sure that I've actually got it soldered and not just the appearance of soldering. And I'm gonna do this a slightly different way just to confirm it. I don't want to be in the middle of an operating session and find out that my my connections are no longer connected. So let's loosen this a little bit, and yep, so I'm pretty confident. I'm basically moving this and the wires are moving and it feels pretty tight, so I'm gonna go and lock this down. And this should be the completion of this process. It did actually take a little longer than I expected. I think that could be because I'm rambling as I do it. But I'm going to now connect my connections together, put the batteries in, and test if it works. So if anybody wants to see the blue smoke, this is when it's gonna happen. What is that little shiny thing in the little picture in the top? I'm looking at my screen trying to figure out what we're talking about. What, this thing? Tweezers? Screws? The mini prints box? I'm not sure what we're looking at there. Let's see. Got a bunch of people subbing. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, I mean, check people out. You know, it's good. Oh, this. Yes. So it cleans the tip. It's not a steel wool thing. It's actually I think it's brass is what it is, but you just sort of do that and it cleans any remnants of solder off the soldering iron. No. Yeah, brass wool tip cleaner is what that is. So it is egg shaped. I'm a little nervous, I'll admit. Wouldn't be the first thing I destroyed, but this would definitely be one of the more expensive items. So the good news is it's sitting nice, you know, just nice. Let's pop these in, and we'll see how this is gonna play out. Oh, fired right up. It's an emergency because I've got the brake pulled. Now it's out of emergency. Put it back in center. So it seems to be working, at least just as much as it was before. The battery indicator is lit up and everything. 6045, come on, that deserves 15 more thumbs up. We got it working. So you can see the battery sticking out the bottom a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can find the tethers so I can show you the tether for this guy if I can remember where I put it. So here's the tether that comes with the Proto throttle, is this guy. So this does, Dennis was asking about throwing it across the room. So this does clip on that. Still fits clear of those. So all I need to do now is screw it back together, and I've got a successful modification from the big box to the little one. It comes down to, does it run a train? I don't even have the layout on right now, but if it lights up, I know it's working because there's nothing thing. So Joey wants me to make a cover for the batteries. It would be nice if somebody had a 3D printer. It would be nice to like make a little snap-on cover. Let's see, Marty Strange just says, I've been thinking about putting a LiPo and an induction charger in my Proto throttle. Then you could use a mobile phone charger to charge the Proto throttle. That would actually be pretty awesome. I've actually got this little wireless battery pack here. Where am I? Where you just put your phone, it's got the little induction thing right on it. You could just carry that around with you as well. It could be. I mean, you could put, I'm sure, well, I'd have to, I would ask them about what the voltage regulator is in here. I think LiPos have a higher voltage, and that might need to be considered. Alkalines tend to be lower voltage, but you could. I mean, I don't know why there's no reason, at least with the modification I just did, that you couldn't, you know, hook up any battery system to it. I will say, so one of the things I dislike about this modification right now isn't the modification. It's that I don't have a battery cover, and the batteries that I'm using are orange, so they're like bright and like shiny and sticking out. So I do kind of want something, I need to find some batteries that are a little more muted. But yeah, there you go. I mean, their batteries kind of popped out, but it's still there. I do have, which I haven't been showing during this intervention, I do have a throttle pocket for it, which I don't think is going to work now. So that is one problem. So Marty says you would need a battery controller to run the LiPo and handle the charger, not a simple mod. Yeah. I wonder if you could put a 2.1 millimeter, you know, like one of those typical sockets on it, and have the charger circuit and stuff external to it. I do like too the screws that I had on it were silver, and these screws are black. I like these black screws a lot more. I am much happier though with these batteries on the outside. I like that now I've got this set up where I don't have to open it anymore. I also like, I mean, you can see, I think you can even see on the straight down view, but it is significantly thinner. Definitely, you know, holds in the hand better. You don't notice the change in length doesn't really matter at all because you had this little piece anyway. It's funny. We were at 60 and 60 45, so the way to make it even is we lost 10 people. So, I guess people are like, no smoke. No smoke, I'm out of here. And everyone left. But yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the way this turned out. And you know, I couldn't, you know, if you want to do this yourself, but you don't have the tools to cut down this box, reach out to William Sampson over at the SOO line. I do have the link for his channel in my description. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I will be at Timonium. I'm heading down Friday. Just keep an eye out on various like social medias, and I'll try and get there. This does work on NC. I actually have it hooked up to my DR5000 using the NCE adapter. So definitely works with NCE because that's what I'm using. But yeah, so I'll be at Timonium over the weekend. Check my socials out. Subscribe to a couple people that you're not subscribed to on the way out. But I would say tonight was successful, and I'm going to hang things up while I'm ahead. So from the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about